Hello, welcome back, and look at what happened. But we're going to fix that today with a fake tip using a paper towel. I'm going to be using my Revel liquids today, so I'm going to use the Pro Base as the glue and the clear dip powder and then the activator to harden everything. So I'm going to start with just a small piece of paper towel, and I'm going to cut a piece out to the shape of my thumbnail. What I don't want is to have any overhang that will end up on my skin at all. So you just want to keep sizing it until you have the right size for your nail. I'm not going to worry about the length of the paper towel at this point. I can cut that down after. I'm more so at this point just worried about the width, so I'm going to keep cutting that down until I don't have any overhang on my skin at all. Okay, so now that I have a good width for the piece of paper towel, I'm going to apply just a little bit of the base liquid to my nail, just close to the free edge, not my whole nail at all, but just where I want the edge of the paper towel to lay on my finger. And I'm just going to keep finagling that a little bit until I have it in the right spot. Also, I wouldn't suggest that you do this with your fingernails. I don't have a pair of tweezers that kind of opens wide enough, so I did use my fingers, and the glue will kind of get on your fingertips a little bit, so just be careful of that. I'm just going to saturate the towel a little bit with the base. I didn't do the whole entire tip because I do want to cut that down more, so you'll see that in a bit. I'm just going to try to lay that down as flat as possible against my nail. So you can see the tip is still quite long, so that's why I didn't apply the base to the whole thing. I'm going to cut that down a little bit further. I'm not going to cut it all the way down to the length, so I still have some room to file the free edge. I'm going to go ahead and let you watch, and then I'll pop it back in. Sorry, I'm back already. But I'm going to apply more of the Pro Base, and this time to more of the tip area. And basically I'm just doing that so that I can start to shape the paper towel so that it's curved more like your natural nail would be. So you'll be able to see what I'm doing here, and I'll let you watch and come back in a moment. Okay, so I am going to apply the base to my whole nail, including my natural nail as well. Just want to give myself a little bit of a protective barrier on my natural nails, so when I start filing where the paper towel meets my nail, I'm not filing my nail bed at all. And I do want to make sure I get a nice smooth edge so there's no bumps that you can see when I apply regular ink powder. I'm using my swatch stick to pour over as well at this point. I kind of felt like the paper towel was still a little bit flimsy, so I didn't want to try to dip it into the powder and have it bend backwards or break or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and let you watch, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm going in with my first round of activator, and this is going to be to make sure that the powder and the paper towel part of my new nail gets nice and hard. So I'm going to apply that generously, and I believe I also apply that to the underside as well, make sure it's fully saturated with the activator, and then I'll let that set for the 2 minutes as well. Okay, so I'm going to start filing with the sanding bit on my e-file. You can use a hand file as well, but it might take you a little bit longer to do. But the sanding bit, I'm mostly focusing on getting that edge where the paper towel meets my nail as smooth as possible. And this part I'm going to keep it in real time. For the rest of the filing, I'll speed that up later in the video, just so the video doesn't end up being like an hour long. But I'll keep this part real time so that you can see what it is that I'm doing. And I'm going to go ahead and let you watch, and I will be back. Sorry, I lied, I'm back. But I also just wanted to mention that for the filing, I'm not really pressing very hard. I don't have the e-file on a very fast speed, and I'm just trying to go as slow as possible and as light as possible so that I can be as precise as possible, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do a little bit of the sidewalls, mostly focusing though on the edge to make that as smooth as possible. Alright, I'll let you watch and I'll be back. Alright, so it's starting to look much better at this point. However, I did notice that there was still a little bit of texture from the paper towel coming through, and some bumps and dents kind of in the paper towel part of the tip. So I'm going to dip again with the clear powder, this time my whole nail, so I get a nice smooth surface. So with that being said, don't feel like just because you've already filed or buffed that if you're not happy with the texture or the smoothness or anything like that, that you can't dip again, you absolutely can. Just make sure that you reactivate as well, and then continue to file and buff until you get your desired smoothness and shaping. I'll go ahead and let you watch, and I will be back. Back, and you can see here I'm switching out to a different bit for my e-file, and that's the same bit that I would use to kind of smooth the dip powder out by my cuticle line, and to kind of smooth out the surface a little bit better. So that's what I'm going to be using here, and I'll let you watch, and I will be back. Okay, so you can see here I keep kind of rubbing that corner by the free edge, and that was because there was more of a pronounced like divot right there, and I knew if I dipped the regular color powder, I didn't think that I thought it would be noticeable anyways. So I'm just applying the liquid to that one area where that kind of divot is in the paper towel, and applying the powder so that I can get more of a smooth surface throughout the whole nail. So back to the same process: dip, activate, file, and keep going until I get the desired effect. So it takes a little bit of doing, but all in all it wasn't a super long process at all, so that was nice. But it does take some trial and error, that's for sure. But I'll continue to let you watch, and then I'll be back for some final thoughts. So it's looking pretty good now. I'm quite pleased with how smooth it is, the length, the shape, everything came out exactly how I wanted it to. So, you know, the process of continuing to just dip and then file worked out pretty well. It's there's no dents or texture or anything from the paper towel, and once it has a dip powder on it, the color, you won't even notice the difference, and you'll see the picture of that at the end as well. That'll be coming up in a future mani for Halloween that I'm doing. But all in all, I'm quite happy. And thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye for now.